Shalom. Still dealing with how they changed our perception of time. So again, we need to understand their maps, right? There's a lot of deception there. Again, we're using this where the path that the sun travels, right? So north and south. So say I'm here in Jamaica, right? And north would be going towards this direction, but it's not. Hold on. It's north is going this way, not this way. So for people traveling to the North Pole, how would you get there? You get there either by ship and the ship travels horizontally, or by plane and it travels horizontally, right? And if you could walk, you would be walking horizontally. So you're always heading this way, right? No, when you get into Europe, you have, like I said before, even if you have your country, you still have a east, west, north, south of your country, which is different from east, west, north, and south of the earth itself, right? So in Europe, you have like, you know, Saint Tropez, like the south of France, south of Italy, Sicily. You have like Ibiza, you have Spain there. These regions, even though they call it the north, right, or Europe, these are still more south of that region. But when you go to places like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, guess what? They are further north. They are colder, of course, because the scripture says the north wind blows and congeal the ice, right? So this is why this region is always colder, and these people are always, back in the ancient time, they're always looking for what? Settlements. That's why they always raid and plunder and so forth, because they were farmers, but they did not have lands to do that. That's why they always go and annex different regions, right? That's why they went all over England and those places, right? Take over Russia, Ukraine, because they're the same people, the same Scandinavian people that left here. They found settlement in Kiev, and that's where Russia started. Russia started in Ukraine, all right, and it's the same set of people. So in the further north is the colder region, and this is where it is up here on the maps, and these are the European countries down here. But if you're leaving from, let's say, France to go to Sweden, again, like I said, you're going to be traveling horizontally. So this is very important for us to understand, right? So north of the north is Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Those are further north, and the other countries of Europe, they are more towards the south. But it's not this north, right? It is this north. So that's very important for us to understand as well. We're going to look at, if you're familiar with the ancient maps, what happened is you realize that here where we call Africa, like I said, it's close to the equator because the sun passes through certain regions there, right? So where would have Jerusalem? On the ancient map, you would know that Moab and Ammon were close to this area beneath Syria, right? Beneath Damascus. And Syria is not the same as Assyria. All right, so we need to make that clear. You have Assyrians and you have Syrians, right? And the Assyrian today, they don't have any land anymore, but they are still a people. They just don't have a land. Just like the tribe of Dan, you cannot go to this place and say, yes, that's the tribe of Dan. They are, they are like minimal among other people. So this region here would be Ammon and Moab. Now go to Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 7. It says, Behold, therefore I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and will deliver thee for a spoil to the heathen, which is the Babylonians, and I will cut thee off from the people, and I will cause thee to perish out of the countries. I will destroy thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Right? So what was happening here? Remember after in the time of Joshua and Moses, when they were leaving Egypt, right? When they left Egypt, they were told not to declare war on Moab and Ammon and Edom because he gave them those lands for inheritance. So this would be right next to where Canaan was, the land of Canaan, which is later Jerusalem. Right? So the Ammon, Moab, and the ancient map, as you can see, the Most High did not want them, Joshua, to fight against them. But because of how they were rejoicing when Judah fell, when Israel fell, the Most High sent the Babylonians against them. Right? So verse 10 says, Unto the men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations. So guess what? You don't even remember that Ammon and Moab used to be here. Where were they pushed? Further to the east. This is why you'll see China and Japan all the way over this side. Right? China and Japan all the way over this side, and this entire region here to the deserts of Arabia, all of this region here was ancient Babylon. Right? So they changed all of these mappings, but we still have the scriptures to understand how it actually works and the timing as well. When you look at the time zones for these regions, you'll see that, for example, if you should check the time in Jerusalem now and the time in China or Japan, you will see that these people are way ahead in terms of hours because they are further east. So they are closer to the sunrise, right? So then you'll see that Asia, those regions, they are almost 12 hours ahead of us in the West. And I'll show you how this works with, for example, keeping the Sabbath, how far it can be apart from the east to the west. I'll show with the sons of Noah, right? So this is just to understand how the timing works. So you see here, they would be further ahead because they're further east. Then you'll have like Europeans, they have this time zone, and then Africa would be a little bit, certain parts of Africa would be a little bit behind, like probably 2 hours or so forth, right? Because they are closer inwards here, right? And we in the west, we're all the way over here. But like I said, it's all like a circle. So this would be like North America here, you know, Mexico, these places, Central America, whatever. You have Canada, you have Alaska, and these places, and Russia and everything, right? So right between here is very close. Canada, Alaska, these are very close. And what happened was, you know, America purchased Alaska from Russia, and then what happened is they changed the timing from here. So it used to be on the Russian time zone. Because they purchased it, it changed to the American time zone. So their line that they use for dating, it's just political. It has nothing to do with the sun or the moon. Alright, so that's what they changed. Everything was changed because of their commerce, right? They changed it because of their commerce. So probably if, let's say here in Jamaica, we have the Jamaicans itself, the main, you know, the main parts of Jamaica, and then you have a certain people called the Maroons, which have certain regions. If Russia was to take these areas where the Maroons inhabit, they would take their time zone too, right? So you'd have part of Jamaica that's on the western time zone, and part belonging to Russia would be on the eastern time zone, and that's all they do. is just all of a committee of men, nothing else. Right? So this is why the scripture said they changed our perception of time, not time itself.